Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of Let's Make a Puzzle. Today's video we are going to make a material that does all the work of dividing up our picture onto our puzzle pieces. I'm not the world's best at materials. I had to use a bit of AI and other methods to get this one to work, but I eventually found a solution. There are probably better ways of doing this, but this works perfectly well for what we want. So let's get going. Go to our folders, go to our materials folder we made last time. We're going to create if I can find it, create a material. We're going to call this M_puzzle. Okay, we're going to open it up. And let me put this back up to the top here. Okay, so basically let's start at what we got here. This we can leave as default, no problem at all. Okay, there's not too much to this material. I will try to explain it as we go. So I'm going to work backwards a little bit on this one from here. So the first thing we want is a texture. So we can hold down T, click for texture. Now this is a texture sample. We need to change this so that we can change our picture to whatever we want. So I'm going to right click and convert to parameter. And we're just going to call this image. Nice and simple. And we'll connect that up straight away to there. To there. It's giving me an error because it needs something in it. So what I'm going to use just for this, I'll put it in here as well. It's this as well. I'm going to import image. I put it on my desktop, I believe. Where did I put that? I'll be right back once I've found where I put it. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I've just downloaded this texture from the internet a while ago. Just coloured squares. This is just for texture. This sort of just lets me see that it's working properly. That's why I've chosen this 4x4 square, but the image doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're not going to do anything with the image other than set it to be our texture here. So now we see we've got our image here. And we're using the image just to give it a little bit of brightness so it shows up on the puzzle. Okay, so let's go back to my reference image because I can't remember this off the top of my head. Okay, we'll give ourselves a bit of space. And we're going to need a color texture. So we hold down 4, click, and we're going to right click this and we're going to convert this to parameter and we're going to call this puzzle position, coordinates, whatever word you prefer. And we're going to hold down the 1 key and we're going to get this, we can convert this to a parameter and we're going to call this number of pieces. And I believe that's all the parameters we need at the moment. Just 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we're going to get these two. First of all, we're going to set a default value on this to 16 because in our picture here we have 16 pieces. We're going to keep this default value to black, 0, 0, 0. We're going to drag off of the red pin because in materials we use colors, but they actually go to X, Y, and Z. Okay, so we only care about the X and Y, so we're going to go at the red. We're going to divide this by the square root of this, so we can just do SQ get square root of this. In other words, we're dividing whatever this value is, which is actually 0 if we look at the default value. So 0 by 4, we're obviously going to get 0. We're going to copy this and we're going to paste it down here. But we're going to move this to the green. Okay? We're doing exactly the same thing, but we're doing the green, which is the Y. Give ourselves a little bit of space in between. Now we're going to get a node called texture coordinates. Leave it on 0, that's fine. We're going to divide the texture coordinate by this again, so we can copy this, paste this. So we're dividing that by the square root of number of pieces. And then we're going to, this becomes a float. Vector 2 float, so we want to break out the float because we need these numbers. Okay, so we can get a node for that called break float 2 components, and we've got our R and a G. We've got our R and our G. Okay, so we'll start with this one. I'm going to divide here. We're going to add the R. In this divide, we're also going to add we can actually just do that add there. Just make it a little bit more neater, like this. Now we're going to need to join them together to make something more, or join them back together to make something that UVs and textures will understand. So we're going to use a node called append. I think it's just append vector. Yes, append vector. Okay. And we're simply going to move this down a little bit. Plug this into our UVs. And you'll see, due to the math, we've got 1. Basically, we're moving this by color. So if I put, say, 0.2, no, 2, let's put this on a plane and you can see it happen. We get 3. So as we move along on our X and our Y, it literally moves along this grid. That's a 4x4 grid, bop, 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 and that's specified by this. And selects that part of the texture that we've got in here to be your output to texture. So it basically breaks it up into 16 pieces in this case. Okay, so I'm going to go back to put this back to 0. I'm going to apply this, and we're going to save this. And that is our texture done. Okay. So this texture is what we will be applying through code to the top of this mesh. We're going to be replacing this black part with part of the image that we put in. Okay, so that's all we have, all we're going to do today. And the next one, we're going to move on and look at, I think, making the initial actors or actor and a couple of level actors. And after that, we're going to start writing the code. Okay. Please, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Feel free to ask any questions. If you really like my work, please visit my Patreon or buy me a coffee. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.